Hello, I'm back. This time we're going to be doing the Bioweave. If you haven't played through to unlock the Bioweave, if you don't know what I'm talking about, stop watching this video now. Um, I don't like spoiling things, but, some people like to be spoiled. So if you want to be spoiled, I'll spoil you. They are the fourth and final squad you unlock with Xenopurge. The devs themselves have told me on Discord, have told us on Discord that, like, it's kind of a reward for having gone through all three of the other squads. They are crazy unbalanced, especially at the end of a run. Um, yeah, they're kind of nuts. If you're looking for a balanced game, you're not going to find them with the Bioweave, and I'll go into the details on what's doing that. Unlike my last video, I'm going to cut this one up into smaller bits. Synthweave runs are almost always going to be my quickest, so I figured I'd just do one big one. These ones can take a little while. At least the first part can. The last bit can go fast depending on your build. And the thing about one of the reasons I don't play the Bioweave very much is it's pretty random as far as how your build ends up, and it gets pretty OP pretty fast. It also I tend to die. You haven't seen me die yet. I've gotten lucky and have been very on the ball for the other videos I've done. But this one, you might see me die. So we're gonna go to Bioweave. They get, if you look at those guys, they kind of suck. Their stats are the worst out of the starting teams. There is a reason for that, and that is on the list there under modified genome. The Bioweave are like modified. We've been splicing in Xeno DNA because we were so busy trying to figure out whether or not we didn't stop to ask if we should, or however the great Ian Malcolm put it in Jurassic Park. So these guys take alien DNA and enhance themselves with it. That's their gimmick. They also get the hunt command, which is where your guys go out and track down. You kind of act like a mauler. You'll zero in on, I think, the nearest Xeno, which can become important. As usual, hardest difficulty. I'm going to try to show restraint because I really do die a lot in the early game of the Bioweave because I am a little bit of a min-maxer. Well, not even so much a min-maxer. My philosophy, as you may have noticed, is to play a little conservatively to start with, bank my money, take big risks, because I'd rather lose the first three missions than the last three missions, is kind of my operating philosophy. With these guys, if you really want to like maximize your first three runs, you gotta kill a bunch of Xenos because you get DNA from these Xenos by killing them. And that first mission is the one where I might die over and over again trying to get both my guys the upgrades. I will try to show restraint, show wisdom, and leave when I should leave. I was just verifying, as you're probably unsurprised, that there's no there's a path that I can avoid VIPs after I get my fourth guy. And I'm just kind of figuring out whether I want to go up or down. It's a binary choice today. And I think I'm going to go with, God, there's the same number of elite missions, same number of VIPs. I will look at a lot of melee up top, a little more variety down below, which is probably why I'll go that route. I do like me some variety. Yeah, that's the path for me, I think. Double aim over there. Yep, I think that's what we're gonna do. Oh, that, and actually for Xenos, you want to look at your hive missions, because especially early on, that's pretty helpful. I do get one more hive mission up here. Maybe that would be the better route. And I do love me some melee. I'll be short guns, but that's fine. I'll get them later down the line. Yeah, and there, you know what? There's no melee later down the line. Not on the path I'm going to be taking. Sure, we'll go up. They start together, which especially for these guys starting out, they're so weak. I'm not going to complain about them being so close to one another. Gonna get jumped there by a scout, I assume. Oh no, that's got to be the hive. Oh, and jumped by a scout. Double whammy. So you'll see when I kill that scout, I get one of this little bioweave. I get one DNA, basically. I'm actually going to group Hudson with Vasquez. And the reason I like taking the hives is I get 2 DNA for taking one out. So your mission objective also gives you your little currency here. If I click on Bioweave, you can see that I get the modify. I can craft armor, which gives me plus 15 armor, usable once per target per mission, or modified genome, once again usable once per target per mission. You'll note it says a permanent stat boost. So when I use that, I'm going to get a bonus to my speed, my melee, my aim, or yes, even my health. I think that might cap out at 50. I did kind of a little trial run of this because I hadn't played Bioweave in a while, and it looked like my health might have capped out at 50. But it's why I'm pretty willing to let a guy die in the pursuit of getting said boost, because like a +1 to your speed is at minimum. I'm going to craft armor on Vasquez because we know that we're going to get some baddies coming out there, and I want my guys kind of close to it because some of those baddies are going to be ranged guys. So better to jump them than be jumped. I'm actually going to sit back here for a second, let them come to me. And you'll see if you look over at Hudson, his speed has gone up. That's perfect. That's what I wanted. And that's from the modified genome. Now we're going to kill this guy and extract. I have not had a chance, or no, not Hudson's speed. Whose speed? Yeah, it was Hudson's speed. So I'm going to modify Vasquez's genome. It's going to be cutting it close for him getting out of there, but I'd actually rather him modify the genome and die than not modify the genome, because if I bump his speed up by 1, or his aim, or his melee, or his health, which there is no other way to do that, I mean, at the minimum, when you're doing the stat upgrades, it costs 2. So if a unit dies, getting a genome that he otherwise would not have gotten if he died, mathematically it works out. You're always better off getting that free upgrade. Hudson got a bonus to his speed. Let's see what Vasquez got. Vasquez looks like he got a bonus to aim. I try to get even my charge guys, even though he starts out with 40. I give all my guys their upgrades because that charge it's random, so that he could just keep getting aim bonuses to his aim stat, which is another reason I'm not. I enjoy the Bioweave. They're a good time. They're just not my bread and butter. I'm always going to go back to Sentinel and Huntsman because they are just, kind of straightforward shooter, pew pew. Synth and Bioweave are kind of gimmicky, which isn't bad. It's nice to change things up a little bit, but I don't do it all the time. So yeah, it's generally okay to let a guy die if it makes the difference between you getting an upgrade, getting a mutation upgrade, or not. That can kind of pigeonhole you if you keep dying to get that mutation upgrade, because you still need other things. You need orders and melee weapons and whatnot to balance your team out and win the day. So ideally, nobody dies. But in that situation, I was willing to sacrifice Vasquez for a little bump. Can't afford anything, and you know me. I'm willing to just, especially with so many more melee things on the way. I'm willing to just not spend the 1 for a refresh and bank it. Off to a good start. That was dicey, but it always is. Try that first mission. Trying to get both your guys an upgrade is rough. It's never guaranteed. You got to be willing to pull out with Bioweave. For now they're fine separate, but I'm gonna have to group Hudson with Vasquez because I don't want him fighting a wave by himself. Get some shots off on that guy before he gets in on us. And we're gonna modify genome husband, craft armor on Vasquez. You can see how quickly these guys do. All right, that once again bumped Hudson's speed, which is, of course, great for him being a gun guy. I'm just going to keep these two grouped up. It is kind of neat. With Bioweave, one thing I like about him is it does lend itself towards keeping your guys grouped together for these early missions, especially, which I don't normally get to do, and having some combined firepower is fun. I'm not, as opposed to Synth, I'm not in a massive race. We might lose Vasquez here, which will suck, but just because he might charge. If this is the evac point, maybe I'll do a little tactic here. It is. All right, so here's what we're going to do. These guys are going to head out here, and we're going to hold ground on everybody. We're going to extract Vasquez and then tell him to hold ground there. So he's just here if Hudson gets swarmed. You're going to see it in action here. Okay, now I'm going to tell him to hunt. Maybe we can get that ranged guy killed. Oh, there we go. So, and now we're going to run. We got what we needed. I got my 5 Bioweave for Vasquez, who may or may not make it out, but we're gonna try. A Mauler may have spawned. No, probably not a Mauler. That's probably a bunch of scouts and another spitter. So I think I'll get out. Cool. Got both my upgrades. Still recovering from the flu. It sucks. You'd think after a month I'd be healed. That looks like that was a bump to Vasquez's health. I think he had 40 before. Each health bump gives you +5, so he went from 40 to 45. You can see how this can just snowball super, super fast. What do we got here? Let's go, because everyone's health snowballs super, super fast. Let's go Hemo Grip for Hudson, because he's got the speed high enough to kind of counteract that. And I need to get his melee over 5 for that break point to 2-shot scouts. So we're going to do one more mission, and then I will end this video. And we're going to do this one in 3 chunks, like I've done previous ones, just because they're going to probably take a little longer. We'll see. It's hard to predict how things are going to go in the Bioweave, because I just don't know how my guys are going to end up. You got no control over how that Bioweave stuff upgrades them. We know we've got a sleeper somewhere here. There's my VIP extract. Let's group Hudson with Vasquez, since we've got no need to explore beyond greed, beyond pure unadulterated greed. You know what? I'm okay with that. Alright, there's our scouts. Probably a third one just spawned up top. That's probably where the sleeper is. You know what? I'm going to toss some armor on Vasquez. I do not recall exactly. I think the way the interaction with real armor and crafted armor is like none, really. The armor goes away at the beginning of the round anyways. Or at the end of the round anyways. Might get jumped by spitters here. Nope. Alright, well, this is going to be a bit of a mess, but that's fine. We're here for their blood anyways. Okay, that's not great. That's not great. Glad I got that armor, but Vasquez is probably still going down. Yeah, extract. Get out of there! Damn. So here's what I'm going to do. Oh, shoot. Yeah, maybe. I'm going to get him bioweaved because he just might not survive this. And we're going to also slap some armor on him. Sad I did not get the genome on Vasquez. That is tragic. That axe is going to pay off for Hudson here. It would have been great if it had gone after the little guy, but you don't get to prioritize. All right, lost both my guys. Not the best showing, but that's Bioweave, baby. I probably should have hung back near the spawner by the evac. I shouldn't have gotten greedy and gone exploring. Those guys probably would have ended up down near me anyways, but maybe they would have spread out more, and I would have had to just fight the one. It might not have mattered. I knew there was a sleeper up there, though, so I knew I was going up against, high risk, high reward. Thanks for watching. See you at the next video.